everyone. This is Roland Pruitt, and this is the Kaiju Review, and we are doing Godzilla Minus One. We are almost at the end of our tether here for season 2. We got one more movie after this one. Actually, we plan to come back later and do 2 more episodes in this season later when the movies are released. And that, of course, is Godzilla Supernova and Godzilla X Kong Supernova and Godzilla Minus Zero. So those will be added to this season later. I've already made a little room for them. Let me bring up Professor Wallnott. Help me out here.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Mr. Pruitt.
So this film is, I believe, a turning point. Because as good as Shin Godzilla was, a lot of people hated it, a lot of people loved it. This film, I think, is where everybody really accepted the fact that Godzilla wasn't a guy in a suit. That it looked really good, and it was, CGI.
Yes.
And the story was so good that you didn't mind that Godzilla was only in it for, less than a fourth of the film.
I have to agree. This one,
And that's rare.
Arguably has maybe one of the best human stories in the entire franchise. Certainly very, very emotional, very heartfelt. Usually we had, the bureaucrats and the military and, crazy scientists and all this. This, on the other hand, taking place.
And you get that in this.
Yeah, well, you still get that, but
in smaller doses, yes.
In smaller doses, and the characters are much more just regular people who are just caught up in this really incredible situation, much like the Japanese were after World War II.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they went back to the 1950s to kind of jump-start it, to kind of reboot it.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. It's a period piece. It's a beautifully done period piece.
Mm-hmm.
And again, CGI is the best that I've seen from Japan.
Oh yes. I mean, they really
again, it's just a really engaging movie.
Yes, for a relatively low budget film, which this was, I believe it's like $15 or $16 million, which is barely the catering bill on an American film. This one really, as the expression goes, really knocked it out of the park with the special effects. Godzilla looked amazing, very frightening, as he should. I'm glad they brought him back to his origin as a monster, as a true force of nature, and it has, we've talked about his atomic breath, or radioactive breath. In this film, they really lean into that idea, and you really feel like his breath is atomic. In fact, there's a scene which we'll see where he essentially causes an atomic explosion, and
you get a mushroom cloud.
You get a mushroom cloud and everything. So they really leaned into that entire narrative of Godzilla being a metaphor for that atomic fear and devastation. So
they also did that in Godzilla MKG.
Yes, they did. Yes.
But again, they brought him back to his evil roots, where he's just a destructive monster on the rampage. And he's just a lot more terrifying in that.
And I enjoyed all the. Sorry, I was just going to say, I personally enjoyed all the little callbacks to the original, to the 1954 original. The music. Some of the action scenes, of course, there has to be a scene with an elevated train. Apparently, Godzilla just hates elevated trains, and so
monsters
forth.
Hate trains. Period.
Monsters hate
Godzilla.
Trains.
If you're in a train and a monster is close, and you see the monster out the window, get off the train. Get off the train. We're going to talk about that when the scene comes up in this one. Again. Time and time again, they pick up the train in their mouth. Just get off the train.
Right.
Any way you can get off.
Stay off trains If monsters are near, stay off trains.
Get off the train. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly.
Run for cover. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our timeline here. Again, this is a Toho film. Again, taking it right back to its roots, the original Toho logo. And the film starts out with a kamikaze pilot named Koichi Shikishima. And he lands on the island of Odo Island. And this is a callback to, I believe, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, where there is a dinosaur that is irradiated and becomes Godzilla. And they go back in time and change everything and do rats and all that garbage. But anyway, this is a callback to that, I think. It's like an Easter egg. Anyway, this is an island in the Pacific. The war is closing. It's coming to an end. If not, has already just ended. And he has landed on this island because he says there's something wrong with his plane. They're going to take a look at it. This is an island with mechanics, and but something doesn't feel right. They feel like maybe he's chickened out from being a kamikaze pilot, and that's why he's there. And yeah, so the main mechanic, Sosaku Tachibana, gives him kind of a snuff, a snort. He goes over to the water, to be away from everybody, contemplate. And one of the other guys comes over and says, "Hey, I'm on your side, man. This war is crazy. I don't blame you one bit." And then he goes back to the others because Koichi's not feeling good about himself. He feels like he's a coward, and he should have done what he was supposed to do. Everybody's telling me he should have done what he's supposed to do. And anyway, so he's looking down the water, and all of a sudden there's these weird pink dead fish, the irradiated dead fish floating around. And then, that's peculiar. But that's a sign in this film. So that night, something sets off the alarm. They all come out, and there is a dinosaur basically there. It's Godzilla. The islanders say it's Godzilla. That's what they've told these mechanics. Hey, there's a monster on the island. It's called Godzilla. And it's a kind of like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's right there in their face. They shine a light on it. Looks terrifying. Starts crashing things up. They run into a bunker, machine gun bunker, for safety. And then that's when Sosaku says, "Hey, go in your plane and shoot it." He's like, "Well, what if it doesn't work? Those guns will kill anything. Go ahead and shoot it." So he has to sneak over to his plane. He gets in and he freezes up. He's scared, as you would do with a giant dinosaur hanging over your head. Excuse me. So they're down there in the bunker like, "Why isn't he shooting?" And then Godzilla is, stomping around, and they freak out and start shooting at him with guns, just regular guns. And of course, that doesn't have any effect on him. It just pisses him off. And the question here is, if he had shot the dinosaur at that time with his plane, would he have killed it? Because as we know, later on in the film, it grows and becomes a bigger, more destructive dinosaur that has healing properties, because it's irradiated. It's, and we'll never know. And of course he thinks that throughout the film. Shouldn't I? If I'd have shot it, this would have been over. This never would have happened, And again, that's the magic of this character. This main character is always tormented by what he didn't do. So, Godzilla in this scene, the little Godzilla, the Godzillasaurus, whatever you want to call it, likes to pick people up in his mouth and toss them over the side like a dog tossing a frisbee over or something, or a bone, just throws it over and throws these guys over into trees. So he gets knocked out. His plane gets destroyed. He gets knocked out. He wakes up the next morning, and Sasaku is basically dragging all the bodies back into camp. He's going to bury them. And he's really pissed when he sees this guy wake up. Because he's like, it's your fault. You should have shot. And there it is.
We have a message. We have a hello from Miss Jamie Bennett popping in to say
Hello there.
hi.
Always good to see you.
Yes. Sticks around and enjoys the rest of the show.
Yeah. Always good to see Jamie Bennett. She has her own Star Raven production company, and she does wonderful shows. You should check her out. So, yeah, basically this guy is shamed into oblivion. All these people are dead because of you. And as they get on the boat to go back to Japan, the guy trudges over to him, the mechanic, Sasaku, and he throws a bunch of pictures of the other guys at Koichi. Again, saying, this is your fault. Their deaths are on your head. Why don't you tell their families? And then he stomps off and won't talk to them anymore.
Right. Well, we don't know that's what that is until later. But yes, that's and he sort of hides it away, which is sort of symbolic. He sort of hides everything away. He internalizes this terrible pain and guilt.
Yeah. So you'll have to read those messages. I can't read them because they're too small.
Well, just as she says, thanks for the shout out.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming in. So he goes back to his old neighborhood, and it's basically been destroyed by bombardments. That's where he goes off and won't do anything anyway. So he gets back to his neighborhood. His house is destroyed. They've been bombing Japan. His neighbor comes up, and at first she's like, "Oh, you're still alive," and then she realized, "Wait a minute, you're a kamikaze pilot. Shame on you. My children are dead because you didn't do what you were supposed to." And she starts shaming the guy.
Yeah, she's not happy to see him.
And she's like, your parents are dead, and my kids are dead, and if you think I'm going to help you in any way, you're fooling yourself. Get lost. Don't talk to me anymore. So, okay. So he starts to try to piece his house together again. And again, he just, keeps being reminded of, the shame and, his resposibility and what he was supposed to do. And, and then the next day he goes to get some rice.
Well, there's an irony in this bottom photo. You see him and he's reading a letter from his parents, and they're saying, "Oh, please come back alive."
Yes, that's right.
And so now it's like everybody hates me because I am alive.
That's what you wanted, isn't it? And now, yes, you're right. So the next day he's going out to get some rice, and a woman runs up. She's being chased around. She's got a baby in her arms. She throws the baby in his arms and runs off. And he doesn't know what to do. What the heck? So he sits there for the longest time. He's looking at the baby. He tries to leave the baby, but he can't do it. He's too nice of a guy. And eventually, she's been watching him the whole time. And she goes, "Why didn't you just leave the baby?" He's like, "What the hell are you doing here? Right? Why didn't you come out?" And she was checking him out to make sure he was a nice guy. And he was. He didn't leave the baby. So she follows him home. And he's like, "No, you can't stay. I'll give you something to eat, but you can't stay." And then, of course, they conk out there. And She explains that the baby is not hers, that she saved it during the air raids. That's what I was looking for earlier, air raids. And
Right.
its parents were killed. And so, yeah, she's just this woman who's taking care of a stranger's baby.
Mhm. The baby's name is Akiko.
Ah, yes. Hiko. Okay. So, yeah, he's like, hey, wait a minute, you can't leave. You can't stay. Can't. And they're asleep.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, damn it. And they stay. And the neighbor's like, what's with the woman you got there? And the baby. And he explains to her that she's homeless. She saved the baby. It's not her baby. What? Not her baby? And she decides to help. She's changed her tune. She's not helping him. She's helping them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she's telling her, you don't know anything about raising a baby. It's going to starve to death. And here, let me help you. And she gives her some of her rations of rice. And yeah, so little by little, they kind of put the shack back together again, put a roof on it it'll keep the rain out. And he goes out looking for work. And he finds a job, but it's a dangerous job. It's deactivating mines that the armies have set out, off the coast of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that's too dangerous. You can't do that. And he's like, look, this is what I have to do. This is good paying work, and I'm not going to find any other kind of job. People don't want me, and this has got to do. So he goes, he says, well, it's an anti-mine proof ship. And he goes to take a look at it. And it's a little wooden, like tugboat kind of thing with a gun on it. And he's like, oh my God, really? Is this what I got myself into? And he goes down and he meets the guy that's the ship's pilot. And he needs another guy who's he's kind of a doctor, and he's kind of the brains of the outfit. And there's a young kid that never got off to war, wanted to go to war, but didn't get to go. And they seem like nice people. And this is where we kind of get a little homage to Steven Spielberg's Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
You get that feel when they're out on the boat together and their camaraderie and what they're doing and everything. You get that kind of feel, like, oh, hey, this is like Jaws, which is, of course, a bonus. It's a plus.
Mm-hmm.
The look on his face when he finds out he was a kamikaze and he's still alive, that pretty much says it all. But they're like, don't listen to him. Don't mind him. He's just don't worry about him. And so then we find out that what they do is they have two boats that are pretty much the same. They're wooden boats. They have a line that goes between the two boats. They go and they sweep for the mines. It cuts the mines tether that holds them to the sea ground. And then the mine comes up, it floats to the top, and then they shoot it with a gun and blow it up. And that's how they work. So it's actually, not as dangerous as you would think. They don't get really too close to the mines. And again, the mine's not going to magnetically come after them because it's a wooden boat. So the guy who's the captain of the ship, Kenji Noda is his name, played by Hidetaka Yoshioka. By the way, Koichi is played by Ryunosuke Kamika. And Noriko, the girl with the baby, is played by Minami Hamale. So there it is. The mean neighbor, who's Sumiko Ota, is played by Sakura Ando.
Mm-hmm.
And Shiro Mitsushima is the doctor type, the guy with the crazy hair there. He's played by Yuki Yamada. Now I always thought Yuki was a girl's name, but I guess it's a girl's and a guy's name. So anyway. And then the captain, Kenji Noda, is played by Hidetaka Yoshioka.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid, as I call him, is played by Tadamasa. I'm sorry, his name is Tadamasa Saito, and he's played by Yuya Endo. So Koichi takes the gun and says, "Here, let me try," because the captain's not a really good shot. And he blasts the thing out of the water right away. I mean, he's got good aim. He knows what he's doing as far as, working out the math for, how the boat is moving, how the mine might be moving. And he gets it right away. And they're all like really impressed. And then the kid says something about, "Wow, I wish I'd been able to go off to war and learn something like that," or some crazy thing about how he wishes the war wasn't over. And that really pisses Koichi off. And he grabs and says, "Don't ever say anything like that again." He's like, hey, I'm just joking, man. I'm just kidding. Kind of one of those deals. So, I mean, we understand now that I'll be honest with you, this has got a very strong anti-war message. They tell you to be brave, but be careful about war and what it does by sending people out to their death, that kind of thing. Be more respectful to your soldiers when you send them out.
Yes, I mean that's the thing. This kamikaze pilot, he is definitely suffering from PTSD. If he were being diagnosed nowadays, or shell shock, I guess back in the day. But of course, back then, there, it was a lot of times it went untreated, and not to mention, of course, all the guilt that he's carrying from.
Right.
He thinks he caused the death of all those mechanics.
Yeah.
Back at the island.
Well,
which results in this.
I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, in a way, I suppose he did. Yeah.
And he dreams about that, right? Right here, he's back on the island, and he's reliving it over again. He wakes up, and he's like, he's freaking out, and Noriko comes to him, and she's like, "Oh, another nightmare. Are you okay?" And he's like, "Am I dreaming? Is this just a dream? And did I die?" And he's got all kind of crazy stuff going on in his head. Yeah. Then we have a atomic bomb go off in the Pacific, and we see that Godzilla is under the water, and he is now affected by the radiation from that explosion. So now the little girl is growing up. She's probably about 2.5, 3 years old here, and he's enjoying watching her grow, and she's drawing little pictures for him, and there she's Noriko's doing little laundry, and she's just being a good person to live with. He's doing his thing at work, blowing up mines. He's doing a good job. Got himself a motorcycle. Hey, look at me. I got my old goggles on. So it's nice. And again, he's looking at the pictures the kid drew of him. It's nice. Life is not bad. It's
a nice little montage. It gives you the feeling of, okay, things are sort of getting back to normal. They're becoming a family.
Yeah.
But that is a problem. Also, at least for him.
He's not accepting that. He likes it, but he's not totally accepting that. When they come over for dinner, there's the house now. It's coming along. Looks a lot better. And he has his friends over for dinner, and the doctor, as I call him, Shiro, takes a picture of Noriko, and he goes, "Oh, you're such a good wife." And she goes, No, I'm not his wife. And she laughs it off, and she goes to the kitchen to do the dishes, and the little kid says, "Daddy." And by the way, I saw this in the movie theaters with subtitles. But this week, when I did this timeline, I actually watched the dubbed version, and I got to admit, it's one of the better dubbed versions of these films that I've seen. I mean, the dubbing matches up with the lips, and what they say matches up with what I saw in the movie when it was in the movie theater. I mean, they didn't change any of it. It's a pretty faithful adaptation, and I liked it. I liked the dubbed version. Again, some people will poo-poo me for saying that, you know, oh, all the versions suck, blah, 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 blah. I like the black and white version much better, blah, 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 you know, because they released it as a black and white version too. Again, I like color. The color, it just adds a lot to this, to me. So yeah, you want to watch it in black and white, fine, go ahead, watch it in black and white. Me, I'm a color guy, and I like dubbing. I like to be able to understand without having to, you know, strain my eyes to read what they're saying, and sometimes you can't read all of it in time and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so, but he says, no, I'm not your father. And they're like, oh, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? You know, that's cruel.
Yes, it's.
But it comes out that he's like, look, you know, this is not me. This is, and you know, she's just staying here with me, and you know, the kid's not hers. And he explains everything to them, and they understand it better, but it's still not. Doesn't make it right. And unfortunately, she's listening in the kitchen. And of course, she wants them to be a family. She likes him. You know, he takes good care of them. He gives them security. And to hear him say that, obviously, you know, is not good for her. Not good for the kid either. So the next day, she's all dressed up. She's got herself a job working in the Ginza district. And he's like, well, wait a minute. Hold on now. You know, so now he's starting to change his tune. Like, wait a minute. I thought I was earning the money here. And she goes, well, you know, you can't wait forever. You know, with me around, you can't get a wife. And, you know, she's like, like sticking a tin to him. Yeah, okay. So you're going to tell everybody that? Okay, well, here it is. She's making him think, hey, maybe this is not so bad. And again, it seems like a very a good situation for all of them. You know, why not? And so she goes off to work. Then we see a file, a government file from the U.S. Evidently, Godzilla is rearing its ugly head and it's destroying ships. And it's kind of like a nod to the Monarch thing. You see a lot of this kind of stuff in the Monarch films. And they actually throw in Douglas MacArthur, and he's like, sorry, you're on your own. We can't help you because of the Russians, blah, 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 blah. You know, so he says, whatever you have to deal with this thing on your own. Signed, Douglas MacArthur. So their ship goes out to see a wrecked, or their boat, I should say, goes out to see a wrecked ship. And yeah, it's just amazing, you know. So what could have done this kind of damage, you know? And that's when Koichi starts to have flashbacks, and he's like, Godzilla. And he tells him the story about Godzilla and the island of Odo, and, you know, this monster, the villagers there called Godzilla, and I saw it, and it killed a bunch of men, and, you know, I should have shot it, and I had the chance, and I didn't do it. And then the floating dead fish, the weird fish show up, and he's like, oh my God, it's around here. It's close by. You know, we got to get to our battle stations. Let's get the hell out of here. And sure enough, the other ship that goes with them, the other wooden boat, that we never meet the crew. We never meet the crew of the second boat. They're pulled under by Godzilla. One fell swoop. Just pulls them right under. And they starts heading for their boat. And they're like, duh. And again, we got like a really like a Jaws thing going on here with him chasing their boat. We're gonna need a bigger boat. So he's coming after them, and they're like, hey, what do we do? Well, we got a couple of mines on board. They got a couple of mines on board, which is really dangerous. And they decided to toss a mine overboard and set it off and try to kill it. See if that works. So they dump the mine. It blows up, and I mean it's right on top of his back. So you know it should have killed him, but they look and he's still there. It barely slows him down. So he starts shooting at it, and they dump the other mine, the second one, and unfortunately, it goes. They said we'll dump it into his mouth, and then you can shoot it, or we'll dump it into his mouth and we'll set it off in his mouth. So he does eat it. But the wire is cut loose. the wire that is going to detonate it. So I'm like, no. So he shoots it. He shoots the thing in its mouth, blows its head up, blows its face off. And these are some great cartoons that came out at the time this movie came out that shows Steamboat Willie, a Mickey Mouse cartoon, one of the first Mickey Mouse cartoons, with Godzilla chasing his boat, which I think is hysterical. So I had to throw that in here, share it with you. There's another one. Mickey looks a little more alarmed on this one. So the explosion from when Godzilla's face gets blown up knocks Koichi back, and he hits his head, and he's bleeding, because head wounds, he's bleeding. The others are looking, and Godzilla a big portion of his face is blown off, but it grows back like right away. He heals himself, and the doctor's like, "Oh my God, he's not going to be stopped." It healed. We blew his face off, but it healed.
He's a mutant.
So now they realize they're up against something that's just really bad. Really tough. It's going to be really tough to kill this thing. It's living, so if it's living, there's a chance you can kill it. But what? What are we going to do? So just when it's about to get to their boat, it is attacked by, I guess, a destroyer. And that gets its attention. Of course, it destroys the destroyer right away. It goes under the water and does a Captain Nemo on it and blows it up. And as Koichi is watching, blood gushing from his head. Damn light. Freaking light. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. That's the problems that we have doing the podcasts. Technical difficulties. Koichi again is forced to watch a bunch of men die because he couldn't solve the problem. So Godzilla attacks, kills the men on the ship, and then Koichi passes out.
Well, we see Godzilla
uses atomic breath. Yeah.
Atomic breath and just
from underwater.
Blows, just massive explosion as the battleship or the destroyer blows up.
And that's when Koichi passes out. And he wakes up in a hospital. Am I dreaming? Am I alive? So he wakes up in the hospital. They're all in his hospital room. Hey, we were waiting for you, buddy. I had this dream about a giant monster. And you were there, and you were there, and you were there. No. A little Wizard of Oz moment. And there were flying monkeys.
There's no place like Tokyo.
Damn it. You always come up with the best line. So they explained to him, this thing's going to be heading for Japan soon, and we can't say anything about it. The government has said, keep quiet. Don't panic, everybody. And the boat captain, damn it, Kenji Noda says, that's the great thing about this government is they know how to keep things a secret. He's not a government guy. He doesn't like the government.
No.
So Noriko is like wanting to get in. She wants to, help him. This war that you have, this internal war, can I share it with you? Can you share it with me? I want to help you. And he explains the whole thing. And again, we get a little bit of the story that we didn't get in the beginning, which is he faked the problem with his plane to go to Oda Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's blaming himself for the death of the people on Odo Island. He should have shot Godzilla when he had the chance. He didn't. And he tells her everything. He breaks down, and this is the first real physical contact we see between them. It's right here. She gives him a nice hug and pats him on the back and holds him in her arms. And that's the first real physical contact we see between these two. And, I guess most of the audience will come to the conclusion, well, this is when he finally turns and falls in love. she's actually the right one. She's she's a good person, and she's trying to help me. He's still kind of resisting now, but anyway, he wakes up and he sees her and the daughter, doing their thing, and he's like, am I allowed to dream? Can I do this? And he hasn't told them about Godzilla. He hasn't told them about Godzilla. And then a ship sees Godzilla heading for Tokyo. It's just off the shore, and it's heading for Tokyo. And you got the spines popping out of the water. And he's with the little girl, Akiko. And the air raids go off. The air raid sirens go off. And a radio report says a giant monster is about to attack, Japan. It's just come ashore. And he realizes, oh my God, that's Godzilla. And now it's here. This moment is finally here.
Well, and worse, he hears that it's in Ginza, where
it's going
is.
Towards Ginza, where Noriko is. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So
and then we get this great scene of destruction.
Mass pandemonium. Yeah, flying, train cars and stuff. And again, folks, if you're on a train and you realize that there is a kaiju close by, get off the train. Pull the brake, get off the train. Tell everybody to get off the train. So here's the train scene. She's on the train next to this guy. He actually kind of gropes her when when they come to a quick stop. This is a mirror scene to the one in the first movie with the two guys in the front of the train. It's almost shot for shot the same. Again, that was meant to be. And then this time, another train car is thrown onto the track in the way. So it's not just Godzilla's feet coming across. It's a train being thrown in the way. They go, gah! They stop the train. And when they do, that's when Godzilla comes up and picks it up. Moving, it's moving. She sees Godzilla outside the window. And she's like, oh, is this Godzilla that he told me about? Is this his monster? Koishi's monster?
That's it. And it's such a great moment. They start playing the original theme, and it's and you hear the roar. It's just a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Yeah. If you're a Godzilla fan.
If you're a Godzilla fan, yes.
So yeah, he picks up the train. He bites into it. And she's still on board. Get off the train, damn it. What are you sitting around for? So yeah, we get that. And the bottom of the train breaks off, and she has grabbed the bar, and she falls into the water, which is lucky that he brought it over the water. And she gets away. But again, a very harrowing moment. Then we get the news crew. This, again, is another kind of Godzilla trope. The news crew that gets too close and ends up suffering for it. And again, it's very similar to the news crew in the original Godzilla before Raymond Burr was put in.
Right. Yeah. That's what I thought when I saw this. Thought, oh, this is such a nod to 54. Except instead of at a tower, they're on top of a building, but it's still a lot of the same sort of. And it's getting closer. It's coming our way.
Oh my God! It's Spy. Just hit the corner of the building. Da!
Oh, the humanity.
And over they go. So, news crew dies in Tokyo. Film at 11. And she sees, Godzilla. At first, she's kind of stunned. She's wet and she's stunned. She's kind of ambling along. And then they knock her down, and then Godzilla's right on top of her. She's like, nah. And she doesn't know what to do. She's terrified. And then he shows up, Koichi, out of nowhere in his bomber jacket. and his bandaged head, and he grabs her, and they start moving. Hey, let's get away from this thing. Feet are getting close. They're watching people get squashed. And then the attack starts from the Diet Building there, which again is another nod to a lot of old Showa films, the Diet Building and the old tanks. And they're right next to an alley there now, and they stop to watch the action. And did they kill him? Did it kill him? And of course he comes out, and this is when we get the tail, and the spines actually jutting out as they light up. And what's going to happen. I mean, but this is a more dramatic way of bringing it on. And then he fires at those tanks that are over by the Diet Building, and boom, that whole neighborhood is history. Boom, mushroom cloud. Now, as they're watching, the shockwave is heading their way. And Noriko pushes him into the alley to save him. And she's blown away by the shockwave. And then the shockwave reverses, goes back the other way, which is kind of weird. I mean, it goes out and then it sucks back in. Mm-hmm. So she's just gone. What the hell? What the hell was that? He wakes up and he's just freaked out. Everything is just destroyed. He's Noriko. He's just yelling, and he's lost her, and he realizes it. And then he looks up at Godzilla and he's like, hey, you took from me. I finally had a chance to dream, and yeah. So
maybe it's. I mean, the whole movie has these very emotional beats, but this in particular, because this actor really sold it perfectly. All that anguish, all that pain, the loss of Noriko, going back to the loss of the mechanics, everything just comes out in that scream, that primal scream of just utter pain and darkness.
Yeah,
it was really, really. I mean,
powerful.
If there are, I don't know what the Academy Awards are in Japan, but he definitely deserved an award for this acting, just for that scene alone.
So the devastation, of course, is massive. And this is a little nod to the first one, too. There's a guy dressed up with glasses and a hat, just like the guy from the first movie who was helping, who was the main doctor, the main professor in that. Yamada? Dr. Yamada?
Yamada, yes.
Yeah, and when they were doing the radioactivity checking and stuff like that. So this guy's dressed. He looks identical. He looks just like him. So that was a nod to that. The guys are over at his house. They're mourning, the loss of Noriko. And he is devastated. And he's looking at the pictures of the mechanics, and he's like, so this is it. This is why I'm still here. So I could feel this pain. He's just again. And she's crying because they're telling her mom he's not going to come back for a while. She knows what that means. She's not stupid. The doctor says, look, I'm the head of a task force that's because I saw Godzilla earlier with you. They've given me the job of coming up with a plan, which I have, to try to destroy Godzilla. And I want you to be there. This is not a military operation. This is run by civilians. And I want you to be there. So the next day they go to this civilian meeting. And it's all veterans, and they're all like, look, this is what we have to do. Nobody's going to help us. The Americans won't help us because, the Russians are not going to help us. So we have to handle this on our own. And then the doc comes out and starts doing his presentation for everybody. And they're amazed to see the doc is at the head of the room. And he explains to them that what they want to do is they want to take two ships, wrap these what do you want to call them?
Like they're like cylinders, like gas cylinders.
Yeah, they're like anti-balloons. um, yeah, gas cylinders around Godzilla cause him to drop to the bottom of the ocean at the deepest trench off the coast of Japan, which should kill just about anything. And he goes, and in case that doesn't work, we have a plan B. And he goes to the windows. They go to the windows, and they have these other balloons that will inflate instantly and bring Godzilla up to the top, the surface immediately. Which, I mean, if they don't kill him with the depth pressure, they'll kill him by giving him the bends, a bad case of the bends on the way back up. Mm-hmm. One way or the other, they're going to crush him. So, this captain here, Captain Tatsuo Hota, played by Miyu Tanaka, he says, look, I know I'm asking you a lot. You have families, but we're it. We're the ones the only ones that can stop this thing. And we have to stop this thing. It's going to kill everybody. It's going to destroy everything. So if you want to leave, you can go ahead and leave now. And a few people leave. They're like, I'm sorry. I got a family. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's too dangerous. And then some stay. A lot stay. And Koichi, even though he's skeptical, he says, can you guarantee us this thing will work? And that he can't say that. He stays. So he says, can you get me? He has another plan. He's finally going to be a kamikaze. He's going to get a fast plane. He's going to fly into Godzilla's mouth and try to kill him from inside. That's his plan. He's going to just drop a bomb inside him and blow him up. And that's his plan. So he says, can you get me a plane? And the doctor comes through. He says, yeah, we've got an experimental plane. They were just going to use them at the end of the war, and then the war stopped, and they didn't use them. And here it is. And it's not quite finished, but, we can get it going, and you can use it to help us to fight Godzilla until we, send him to the bottom of the ocean. So he says, well, I'm going to need a mechanic. I'm going to need the best mechanic to fix this thing up. So he goes, I'm going to need Susaku Tachibana. And he tries to go to the records office to find out where Tachibana is, and they won't give him an answer. They say, look, it's going to take probably weeks, maybe months, to find him. He goes, well, can you just tell me where he was stationed before? And he's begging this guy. And finally, the guy gives him enough information to where he can send some letters out. And he sends all these letters blaming Tachibana for the deaths of people on Odo Island, because that's the only way he feels he can get him to react and come join this thing. Mm-hmm. If he gets him close, he can explain to him what's going on.
Right. This scene, when I saw this scene, it so reminded me of a Kurosawa film, where it had the same sort of bureaucratic. Like,
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In fact, this whole film.
And it's the same actor that played Yamada.
Maybe. Oh, that's right. That's right. It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did a lot of Kurosawa films.
Yeah. So I thought, that seemed like a nice little nod to Kurosawa as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. So Tachibana comes to his place, knocks him out, knocks him to the floor, threatens to kick his ass. He explains, the only way I could get you to come, the only way I could get you angry enough is to tell you that it was your fault. It wasn't your fault. It was my fault. And, we got to kill Godzilla, and you got to help me. We got a plane that you need you to fix up. You got some gall. And he explains the plan to him, and he says, look, and then he tells him his plan. He says, look, this is what I want to do. I want to drop a bomb in Godzilla's mouth by being a kamikaze. I want to do it. And you can help me. You fix this plane up and we can do it. We can kill this thing for good and save Japan. So Tachibana's on board. He's not happy, but he's on board. So he works on the plane, which he likes. He's it's impressive to him as a mechanic, Oh, hey, oh. So he's able to fix this thing up. And they're getting ready, loading things up, getting ready to do the plan. And then Godzilla starts to come ashore, I think. No, sorry, not yet. They have another meeting talking about the plan, and this is where they decide to leave the kid out. He's broken his arm, and they say, "No, you know what? This is not your fight. We're leaving it." And he wants to be on board. He's like, "No, no, I'm going to be a part of this. Come on, you can't leave me behind." And they're like, "Well, no, sorry, kid. We're not taking you with us."
It's a great line where I think the captain says, "We're saving the future for you, kid." Like
Yeah.
that.
So Tachibana, working on the plane. I'm trying to think what's going on here.
Oh, it's
and that is Koichi with the little girl, and
Koichi.
she realizes he's going to leave her now. She starts crying. She's not a stupid kid. She's a very smart kid. She starts crying. She's going to lose both of the people that she looks at as her parents.
Kid's a great crier.
She's adorable too. This little kid is adorable. And when she cries, it's just right at your heartstrings. Because you like her so much. She's such a sweetie. So he goes, Tachibana shows him the bomb. He shows him the cockpit. And at the end of the scene, he goes, "Oh, and there's one more thing I want to talk to you about." And then that's when the scene ends. So we don't get that payoff. Next morning, the little girl, Kiko, goes to the neighbor, goes to Sumiko, and shows her money in an envelope and a note from Koichi explaining that he's probably not going to come back, that he's going after Godzilla, and he's probably not going to come back. And she's like, "Oh, money." I'm kidding. There's not much she can do about it. So anyway, there is a ship that sees a radioactive buoy. They've set up these buoys to glow when there's radioactivity close by. And they see the dead fish and the radioactive glow, and they report that Godzilla is coming ashore. He's already made it past the trench, unfortunately, and they're like, "Oh no, he's coming ashore. Our plan." So they're like, "Oh, Koichi, we're going to have to get Koichi to lure him back out to sea." And yeah, Godzilla throws a boat long way into the inland there.
Well, they had this plan. They were using a recording of Godzilla,
Right.
and to lure it, But Godzilla, of course, is like too smart. Destroys the ship.
Yeah, Bliss just blows him off. "I'm coming ashore, damn it." He gets past the last defense there, and he's ashore. So Koichi has to load up and fly out, which he does. And he goes and he's got Noriko's picture in the cockpit there. And again, they're setting us up to believe he's going to commit suicide, that he's going to do Harry kamikaze, and we see Godzilla continuing to move, inland. So their plan is already falling apart before they even get started. But they say, "Look, let's get the ships out there. We're going to have to trust Koichi to bring him back to us out in the ocean." He doesn't like Koichi. He doesn't like to be strafed. So, and that's what he does. You say, "Hey, Koichi, you gotta learn back out to sea." "Oh yeah, no big problem. God, no problem at all. Thanks, no pressure." And he starts attacking Godzilla with this little plane. And this when the postman comes to Sumiko's house, Miss Ota's house, and gives her a nice little message. And she's freaking out when she sees the message, and we don't know what it is yet. I mean, those of you who've seen the movie know what it is, but anyway, so he's strafing Godzilla. He's going around. We see some nice devastation in the farmland here. People trying to get away from Godzilla. He's stomping on their houses and stuff. They're looking up at him. Yeah, damn it. My insurance is not going to cover this. And at first, Godzilla, he's not happy about, the flybys, but he's not actually taking the bait. It takes Koichi a little bit of time and some shooting at him to get him to actually turn and start heading back out to sea, which he does. So Godzilla's chasing him out to sea, which is good. That means the plan, might be able to happen. So they see him coming and say, okay, get ready for the plan. And they have 4 large battleships at their disposal. So this is actually kind of a cool part, because when his back lights up and he's going to use his atomic breath, they've sent the first ship in, and they said they didn't want to have any loss of life on this mission. They've tried to plan it out very carefully. But again, he's going to use his atomic breath. So what happened here is they've got a ship lashed. The wheel is lashed, and it's heading for Godzilla, and he's going to destroy it. And he's going to use up his atomic power, which takes a few minutes to recharge. So they actually sacrifice a ship for the plan. Mm-hmm. My chair is creaking. Can you hear that over there?
Yes, I heard it.
So, yeah, little mushroom cloud there. Godzilla uses his breath. And now they're freaking out. They're like, oh, my God, he's going to destroy us. And the doctor's like, no. We wanted that to happen because he's using up his atomic power. It takes a while for him to recharge it. So they move forward with the other 2 ships to wrap him up with the canisters. And they start, getting the canisters, which are looped together, off the ships. And they surround him. And while they're doing that, Koichi keeps him occupied, not thinking about the 2 ships around him, but but about him. He wants to kill him. So he's flying around his face like a gnat, trying to get his attention. Yeah, don't look at those ships. And the ships actually come back together, which means they've wrapped him up, but they're very close to each other. They almost scrape each other, which is cool. Actually, I think they actually do bump each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They succeed.
Yeah.
But then his back starts to light up again. Uh-oh. That happened faster than we expected. So he's about to blast them when the doctor goes, hit it, and they blow those canisters. The canisters take him down to the bottom. And it takes him down past 800 feet, which is what they wanted. And the blue beam disappears. He's so taken aback by that. But then the crane starts to break. And that's not good. And he starts to come back up. Starts to get away, I guess. And I'm like, oh, shoot, we need to keep him down. Or no, they're trying to pull him back up. That's what it is. They've gone to plan B already. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to pull him back up, but the crane breaks. So without the crane, they can't get him back up, So this is when the kid, Kenji, comes to the rescue with a bunch of other tugboats and stuff from shore. They're going to help pull Godzilla up so that he dies at the bends, freezes to death, whatever you want to say. So that's plan B. He's going to make plan B happen. And they're happy to see him. And sure enough, yeah, they do. They do pull him up. But they expect to pull up a dead body. But Godzilla is still very much alive. And he's dangerous. And his back starts glowing again. So he's ready to blast him. And this time, it's like, we have no plan C. And just when he's about to blast him, Koichi comes in to save the day. And it's time for Plan C, his plan. So he flies the plane right into Godzilla's mouth with the bomb. And this is when we find out. Well, they all think he's committed harikari. He's kamikaze. We'll just leave it at that for now. So it's in his mouth. We see pictures of Noriko and her doing the laundry. So you think this is it for him. He's gone. He's gone on to meet Noriko. And sure enough, the thing blows up inside Godzilla's head, blows his whole head and neck apart. And again, everybody's all sad because they think that Koichi has sacrificed himself. And this is when we find out that the last thing that Tachibana told him was, I put in a ejector seat for you. You live, you dream, go do your thing. You don't have to be a kamikaze. Just do the thing and get away. And they all react when they see his parachute. They're like, hey, there he is. Hey, wow, hero. Yay. Everybody's. Now, here's kind of a weird thing. Godzilla's head is completely blown off. And his blue ray starts emitting from different parts of his body. And that, deteriorates it even further as Koichi's watching as he's coming down. And they all salute. Now, some would think, okay, they're probably saluting Koichi. He's the hero, right? But some would probably think, well, wait a minute. Maybe they're saluting Godzilla. He was a worthy adversary, and now he's beaten. He's gone. So let's salute him. I don't know.
That's what I thought. I thought they were saluting Godzilla as.
Yeah. It would make sense to salute Koichi, but there it is.
Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, but it just has a feel like they're looking up. It just has a feel like they're saluting Godzilla on his way out. Mm-hmm. So there it is. So on shore, he's getting the hero's welcome, and then his neighbor comes up, and she consistently hits him. You idiot! You almost committed suicide. You dumbass! You idiot! And then she shows him a letter, and he freaks out, and he goes running. And he runs to the hospital with the little girl, and they run upstairs, and they go into Noriko's room. Noriko has survived somehow, and she's in a room, a hospital, and he goes to her bed. He, puts his head in her lap. He's crying. She's crying. And the last thing we see is it's like a thing on her neck appears. Could it be some kind of radiation poisoning thing? People speculate that this is going to be part of Godzilla Minus One, right? Or Godzilla Minus Zero. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of the people who are affected in some strange way by Godzilla's radiation. Remains to be seen, but that's the last thing we see is her neck is okay, it's fine. And then all of a sudden, like a black tattoo kind of thing appears on her neck, a swirly thing, like a paisley kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, what's that all about? Mm-hmm. But yeah, they don't kill her. I mean, it's a happy ending. So, and then we have the credits roll, and then we have a scene underwater. It looks like Godzilla is redeveloping again. Dun 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 dun. And that's it. Godzilla Minus One. That is the movie. So, if you haven't seen it, and I would be surprised if you're a Godzilla fan and you haven't seen it. It's really good. Mm-hmm. It's top notch, top shelf. Oh yes. Most fans just say, look, it's that and number one are the two best. And a lot of people are saying it's even better than the first one. So I would say that. So it's a great movie. It is.
It's the only time I get to wear this. This is a Godzilla Minus One shirt. So now I can sell it on eBay. Watch all of our other shows here at Cosmos Creative TV. They're archived on YouTube, Twitch, Two Guys and a Gal Talking Movies. The Big Monster Briefing Room with General Howitzer, lots of other shows, lots of good stuff to watch. And please just tune into all that. Watch Jamie Bennett's stuff. She talks about all kinds of supernatural things. And watch No Icing with Sandy D, and The Man of 1,001 Voices for Ari Penland. Really good stuff. So until then, we'll see you for our last episode for this season, for now, probably next Tuesday. And that will be Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. And you can make up whatever tagline for X that you want. Godzilla loves Kong. Is it kisses? What do you think?
I was told that it means times, like Godzilla times.
Godzilla times Kong.
Kong, yes. Since they wind up teaming up, so
there's a lot of apes in that movie, so
it sort of becomes Planet of the Apes. Yes, but we'll discuss that at the appropriate time.
All right, and hopefully Linda Miller will join us for that.
That would be wonderful.
Try to get her to join us for that because she knows Kong better than anybody. And you guys take care until then. Keep watching Kaiju films.
Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Thanks.